Good morning, everyone. This is Card Stamping with Clara, and I'm Clara. Back with you again this week with some more cards. I'd like to show you and show you the possibilities of this new set that we have, or fairly new set now. And if you would please, I'd appreciate it if you'd push that subscribe button before we get started here. That would help me. And hopefully what I have here for you today will help you some. At least I hope so. First of all, I want to show you the sets that we're going to be using today. This is the All Adorned set, and it is free with a $50 purchase right now. It won't be free much longer, and it may not be available much longer. It's available during celebrations, and like I said, you can get it free with a $50 purchase. And I want to show you the possibilities. We have, when you first look at it, you might think, well, what can I do with that? That's kind of my first impression. But I wanted to give you some ideas. So we're going to work with this one, and then we're going to use a couple of other things too with some of the cards. We're going to use the Itty Bitty Birthday set. And it's really helpful to have. I'm going to use It's Your Day and Let's Celebrate. Time to Celebrate right up here. I'm not going to go into all those extras. You can, take a look in the catalog if you like. And the other thing that I'm going to use is this Label Me Pretty stamp. This puts a pretty design around a stamp, and then we have a punch to punch it out with, which is really makes it easy and nice. So those are the sets that we're going to be using today. And I'm going to use one framelit from the Flourishing Framelits set for a little border. And I will show you that one later. For right now, I'm going to show you the card we're going to make today. It's going to be this card. It is not going to be in this color. I'm going to show you a couple options for colors, and you can decide what you like best. The one that I am making today is in Balmy Blue, but this one is done in Bermuda Bay. And I really liked it, and I wanted to try it in some other colors other than Bermuda Bay. But we have a little panel on the front. This is the die cutout that I was used as a little decorative band. And as you can see, I put the little pretty label stamp and the design plus my own sentiment in the center of it. Then on the inside, it says Time to Celebrate. So that's the card for today. I'll set it over here as I usually do. And I did another one trying to decide honestly which card I wanted to make on camera today. This one is done in Blueberry Bushel, and it's also done in Balmy Blue as a coordinating color. It's made exactly the same way, exactly the same sentiment, but it is just a different color. It's just simple as that. So that gives you an idea. This one is made with one of the other stamps, and I made it a Miss You card, and I embossed it in white and put it on the Blackberry Bliss, and then I put a little bow on it, as you can see. And I used layer and framelit squares and turned them to look like a diamond shape. I also used one of our edgelets to put a little decorative design in behind the squares. So I thought, you know what, you can write anything you want to in some of these. So I thought we'd kind of go that route this week. Here's one of the corner pieces from that Adorned all around set, and in this one I put in each corner. This is the gorgeous grape that I used, and then I used a lighter Highland Heather paper for this stitched all around cut out for a happy birthday. And on the inside I put, I'm so blessed to call you my friend. In this one, I decided not to put a separate cutout, just stamp one of the sentiments out of that set, which is you're pretty much the best thing ever, or best ever. And I made it very much the same, put the black around it to kind of make it pop out and stand out. And then I used some coordinating, well, I want to call them beads. They're not really beads. They're just accents. That's probably the best way to put it. This is done in the Coastal Cabana, and I thought that looked pretty. And then on the inside, I put lots of love, and that little heart comes in this set too, as well as the lots of love sentiment. So this one, I was a little bit experimental on. And I decided that instead of putting the corners, putting the stamp in the corners like I did on this one, where I put the same stamp in each corner, this one I just kind of used it to enclose the get well soon sentiment. And so you can turn it in a different position and get a whole different look. As a matter of fact, my husband didn't even realize it was the same set. And then I put some stripes on it, just because there was stripes in this, and I thought that coordinated. And, you know, this, to me, looks a little bit more masculine than some of the flowers and things. So, on this one, I put comfort and healing to you. So, this might do well for one of your male friends if they weren't feeling well. This one turned out that I'm going to give this to my granddaughter for her birthday in a few weeks. This is some paper from our So Sweet set that's in the Occasions catalog right now. And so I wasn't quite sure what I would do with the striped paper, but this is what I did with it. I took that same little heart and I stamped a whole row of hearts here. Then from a die that we had, or we have in the Occasions catalog, the hearts came from that. And then I used some more little accents. I put lots of love on the inside, on the outside as a sentiment. And then I put, and enjoy your happy birthday. Lots of love and enjoy your happy birthday. And so I put some little hearts in the inside, and I put a little scalloped edge here. And, you know, this speaks of my little granddaughter who loves pink and purple. So that's the one that she's going to get a little bit later on. This is one that I used another one of the stamps, and I made a background out of this lovely lipstick. And then I used the coordinating color, lovely lipstick, to use on top to put the sentiment on. And then I took white, and I embossed this so that it would be shiny and stand out. Then I took one of the ribbons that coordinates with the lovely lipstick and put a little ribbon on it, a little bow. So anyway, and then you can write anything you like on the inside of this one. It says the world needs more people like you. All right. The last two are just basically note cards, and I played around some with these, and I used the same stamp as I did on that last card, but I stamped it individually. I stamped it in different colors, and I embossed it on this one. We have the 2018-2020 color embossing containers, I guess I would call them. But anyway, these little containers of embossing powder come in the 2018 to 20 colors, which are the Pineapple Punch. You've got the Grapefruit Grove, the Blueberry Bushel, the Call Me Clover, and Lovely Lipstick. So I have found that I really like these. And I used them on these cards, and I tried it two ways. I tried it stamping it on the white, and I used a layering circle out of the coordinated colors and then put it on black, as you can see, and it made that stand out. And I put a partial one down in the corner here. And this was the one that I did first. I put it on black and used these colors. Put some little ones in this one and embossed it, and put a little stamp down at the bottom on this one. So, you know, whichever you like, however you want to go, those are a couple of options. Okay, on to the putting together of the card for today. I do want to show you a couple of things about the punch and stamp. I want to show you what we've got here that we've got the normal card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We've got the Time to Celebrate. This is in Balmy Blue, and it is 4 by 5 1/4, so that it will fit on the inside. We'll lay that over for a second. This is another piece of Balmy Blue, and this is the piece that I ran through the 10 tile dynamic folder, embossing folder. This is what is called dry embossing, if you don't know, whereas the colors that I was showing you a minute ago, you heat emboss that. But this one is a piece, I took a piece of the Balmy Blue, just like this. They were both the same to start with. And all you do, if you've not used embossing folders, is you slide this piece in and lay it down. And something I have learned to do with these really thick embossing folders, I used a spritz of some, as you can see, this is kind of shiny and sparkly. You can use something like that, or you can just use plain water, and it kind of gives enough moisture to the paper that it actually embosses easier without tearing your paper. So what I would do is I'd lay down the flat piece of cardstock, then I would spritz it and fold this up and then run it through my machine. So this is called the 10 tile dynamic folder again. I wanted you to see this because this is one of my favorites. It can just change the look of a card. And to get a shiny spritz, I'm going to reach over here and show you. We have these little spritzing tubes. And we also have some all-purpose ink. This was 72 Frost White. And what you do is you just fill this thing up with alcohol, just plain old alcohol from the drugstore or the, wherever you buy your things like that. And drop 3 or 4 drops, depending on how shiny or how much you want on your paper. You can try it out, and then you can add a little bit more if you want to. Just be sure that when you do this, you shake this thing up really good so you get an even amount of this paint. It's called ink, all-purpose ink. You get that all the way through, the alcohol evenly spread. If you leave it in this for a while and you think you'll use it in another day or so, it will settle out some. So be sure and shake it good. But that's a way to get the shiny look. And you can also, like I said, you can just use water, but I think it's a good idea to spritz it with a little water or something, because it gives the paper a little bit of give. All right, so this piece is the same as the one on the inside. You might want to start with a little bigger piece, because sometimes these embossing folders will draw the paper up a little bit. But this one is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on the outside. This piece is a piece of Whisper White, and it is 2 inches by 5 inches, and I stamped at the top and the bottom on this one. That's the stamp I was showing you. And this is the little belly band. Well, it's not a belly band, but it's a little accent band. And what I did to get it to look the same on both edges is it was longer than this. I just trimmed. I believe maybe I did it on this end. You can't hardly tell, but I just took a pair of scissors and trimmed that in there. Like, for instance, if I wanted to do this one, I would just clip that much off, and then it would give you that same effect. And this little tiny piece is to go under on the card to make this stand out. And it is 5/8 inch by 1 7/8. Okay. And I'm going to show you about stamping this little thing and popping it out, because this was something that I didn't do correctly to start with. And if you haven't used many punches, or if you haven't used punches at all, this might be beneficial to you. So I want to be sure and show you that. And we'll just do that before we start putting this together. And these are little epoxy drops. Some look like raindrops. I don't know if you can see or not. And I took the balmy blue, the dark balmy blue, and just colored the ones that I want to use and put on the card. So you can do that if you don't have the exact color. Now, the one with the Bermuda Bay, I had something close enough that I didn't have to do that. But on this one, I did. All right, let me show you about this stamping and stamping out the, or cutting out this particular piece of label, or, label. That's what I need to say. Okay. What I did, I just used a little block for this one because it's simple enough, as you can see, to stamp it. And we're just doing a quick demonstrational type thing just so you can have an idea. All right. Now then, this is the punch that's called the Pretty Label Punch. And like I said, I really like it a lot. You may or may not know the punches are really nice. They just lock into place. And then you can stack them. So, all right. What I didn't know when I started was to, turn this punch over so I could see what I was doing. Now, on this one, where I put It's Your Day, I went ahead and stamped that before I punched this out. And the reason I did that was because the smaller your piece, the harder it is to get that lined up, where you want it. So it's a good idea to do that. Now, if you are not going to put a design on your label, then go ahead and stamp whatever your sentiment is. And then you can do what I'm doing right now, which is you can space it. What you do is you can look at it like this. And you can see how that lines up in there. And then all you have to do is just pop it out, and you've got what you need. Now, what I tried to do to start with, I thought, unfortunately, was the wrong way. I had it flipped over the wrong way. And I thought, how in the world are you ever supposed to get this thing straight? And finally, I either saw or the light went off in my brain that this was not the way to do it. So I just wanted you to be able to see that, because if you haven't used punches, that's the way you do it. Okay, enough about that. And we're going to glue this thing together. I would say this, if by any chance that you're not familiar with stamping in general, please drop me a note. There's a place on my website, CardStampinWithClara, where you can contact me and tell me what you would like to see. I started out by trying to give you the information as to the stamping and going through the die and all that stuff to start with. And the videos were long and cumbersome to the people that already knew that. But if you would like to know about heat embossing, or you would like to know about lining up stamps on the stamp apparatus or any of that kind of stuff, if you just go to where it says contact me and drop me a line, then I will try to be mindful and get some of that information in to you so that you will have what you need. I just realized this tube of glue is virtually out. Let me reach over here and get another one. I completely forgot to check that. And there we go. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I'm forgetful, and I apologize, but we'll be here ready to go shortly. Okay, now then, first thing you do with this card is put this embossed piece onto your card base. You may have to put a little extra glue on these that are embossed because of the nature of the fact that they're just not flat anymore. So, all right, we still got a little piece of plastic there, it looks like. Okay. Get this flipped over. As you know, sometimes these fall right into place, but it looks like this is going to be one of those days when that doesn't happen. Okay, I believe that's all right. Okay, and now we're going to take this piece and adhere it to the front next. Going to be about right. I better raise it up here and look at it though, because sometimes if you're not looking straight at it and you're kind of looking at an angle, it's real easy to get them a little bit crooked, and I don't want to do that. Okay. There we go. Press that down good, like there again. You're sealing this to an uneven surface. So, all right. This little piece right here, I'm going to put right here at the edge, and the reason I put that tiny little piece is when I use this to put on top, then I want this to show up. If you lay it straight onto that blue surface, it doesn't pop, as they say. It just looks, this little piece makes a lot of difference. Okay. These glue tubes are full. They really come out easy. And okay, let me see if I can get that centered. And straight. Okay, that's all right. All right. It looks like, I don't think it's going to show, but it does kind of bother me a little bit there. Okay, I think it'll be all right. I see a tiny little speck of something that this card piece has picked up, and if you see something like that, get just a tiny little dab of ink somewhere where you don't want it to be, you can use one of these mono erasers. They're not sold at Stampin' Up, but they are handy. So, okay. This is the little piece that came out of the flourishing thinlits that I used to cut this out of. But as you can see, like, you just have to measure it to get it to the right length for your card. I'm going to put just a tiny little bit of glue here on the back. I hope I'm not forgetting to get off forgetting and getting off center where you can't see. Okay. I want to position it so that this comes right at the edge. And then if this laps over a little bit on the other side, it doesn't really matter. All right, there we go. Sometimes when you do that, you'll pick up a tiny little bit of glue here or there, but it's not seen on the card. All right, I've got some Stampin' Dimensionals that we're going to use to put on the label here. We'll put one here at the top. I'll put one at the bottom. I'm going to use a whole row of this edge to put down the center. That'll help to hold the card up, and that's just a nice way to use the edge without, I mean, you know, it's sort of a freebie. Okay, take off the back of these if you're not familiar with them. All right, now then, this says it's your day. And I've mentioned this before, but these little tweezers are really nice when you want to hold something out from you a little bit and make sure that you get it in the right position. What we're doing is we're trying, as I would, well, okay, I think that's all right. What I was trying to do, and I'll show you now that I've got it on, is I was lining this up to the center of this, and then you're trying to make sure that your stamp is, you know, kind of an equal distance from side to side, and that way it just gives the card a better look. But as you can see, this just adds a little interest. And I thought that it was a little framelit that would coordinate okay with this. All right, we'll put the little epoxy drops, I think is the correct term. We're going to use these that I colored with the dark balmy blue. It doesn't make them particularly dark, but it does give it that look. I'm going to put one in the center here. And I'm going to put one in the center down here. That's an accent. And then I'm going to take a couple of the little ones. And I'm going to put on the label, if I can get them over here. when it comes to these kind of things, you use whatever you can, that works good. You've obviously got to have something to pick them up with, but they do kind of sparkle, and so there you go. You can see the little one here and there, and then I put one on each side of the label. Okay. Now then, we're almost finished. I'm going to take this, put the time to celebrate on the inside, and I thought, with It's Your Day and it's time to celebrate, you can be celebrating anything. This could be a job promotion, it could be a birthday, it could be, well, probably not an anniversary. That might not be quite nice enough for an anniversary, but whatever you might find that would be fun and you wanted to encourage somebody. Okay, let me see. All right, now that one went in good. Yay! I love it when it does that. All right, so there you go. I put a little the little stamp in here. So I think we used all of the parts of this particular stamp set, which, that was the goal. Yeah, we did. You saw that one, and this is the little one on the inside, the heart, the lots of love. And so, this stamp set turned out to be way more versatile than I originally thought that it was going to. But this one's in Balmy Blue, and the other one was in Bermuda Bay and the Blueberry Bushel. So you got a good view of the different colors. So that's going to be our stamp set for this week. I do want to remind you that this All Adorned stamp set is free with a $50 purchase. And it's only going to be good until March 31st. And we are getting close. So I wanted to do a video on this one, and it was a new release during celebration, one that you had not seen. So, if you're interested, you can go to my webpage, CardStampinWithClara, and click on Shop with Clara. And I will have this video up by Friday, and I will have all the measurements for all the pieces that went into this card, and the instructions as well. And it'll also link back to the video if you want to look at it again. So, there again, I'd appreciate it if you push the subscribe button. And I have a host code here that if you purchase less than $150, use this code. And if you purchase as much as $150, by all means, take advantage of the Stampin' Rewards. You would get $15 free in purchases. For $15 free in merchandise, let me say that. You don't purchase anything to get, once you reach $150, they give you $15 worth of merchandise. And it's on a percentage basis as to how much you get based on how much you purchase. So the more you purchase, the more free stuff you get, is what it boils down to. This, like I had said in the past, is a really good time to join as a demonstrator if you are interested in doing this, because this is the best time of year. It's not the only time of year that you can join, but it is the best time of the year because you get more merchandise for the amount of money. If you spend $99, you can get, like, I think it's $129 worth of merchandise. If you spend a little bit more, you get a bag and a real nice carry bag, plus, some extra merchandise too. So you can check that out under promotions on my website. And if you spend $50, I'll send you a ink pad, which if you're new, this is my intent. If you're new and you're trying to get started, a Memento ink pad is a good place to start because you can use blends with that and other kinds of watermarkers and what have you as well. So if you've already got the ink pad, I'll send you a refill free of charge, just as a thank you and a little something to help you get started. So like I said, if there's something you'd like to see, please contact me. I would be more than interested in finding out what interests you so that I can meet the needs that you have instead of kind of shooting in the dark. So there again, thank you for your time, and may the good Lord bless you and keep you this week, and I'll see you again in a week. Thank you.